Barakata Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is, For Now Is Our Salvation Nearer Than When We Believed. That's taken directly from Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And pretty much, when I woke up a little earlier, just before I woke up, I was having like a dream, which I know brothers say they don't have dreams. I do not have any dreams like that. But in this dream, it was brief. All I remember is driving down the street. For some reason, just had the idea that it was in New York. And as I'm driving down the street, there were things falling, stuff falling off of buildings and, stuff hitting the street lights, the traffic lights, breaking them off. And then way in the distance, I saw a bunch of fire trucks, like you see here. But the fire trucks that I saw were going the other way, sideways. They were, parked like sideways. And, like I said, I saw them in the distance. They were stopping everybody. And I heard a voice. They were saying, everybody get out and just start, walking up such and such street. I don't remember the name of the street. Just walk. It'll take you a while to get out, but just keep on walking. Something similar to what happened in 911. Now, there was no smoke or anything like that in the dream. But there was stuff falling off of buildings, And then all of a sudden what I thought about was, they're about to shut it down. And then I was about to pull out my phone to start recording and start doing like a on location, type, video. And then I just woke up from the dream. Like I said, it was quick. It wasn't something, it wasn't super vivid, like you had those real lucid dreams. It could be nothing. But when I saw, stuff falling off of buildings and breaking other stuff and, it seemed like it was about to go down. And like I said, I looked from where I was at in the car. I believe I got out the car. I didn't see myself. I just knew I was there. And I remember looking down the street, way down the street. I'd say maybe about 10 blocks down the street. There was a bunch of fire trucks, like you see in this video. This picture, but they were kind of, sideways. Instead of being, the way they lined up, they were, kind of going across the opposite way. And then like I said, the thought came into mind. They're about to shut it down. Because after the voice said, they was like, almost like the first responders were saying, just get out and just start walking up, such and such street. It'll take you a couple of hours, but you eventually get there, something like that, So all I could think about is going down. So what I'm getting from this is that, if it is a vision, that this place it ain't got long to go. And we see it clearly because things are, in prophecy are moving pretty fast. Everything is speeding up. Time is speeding up. As you already know, we're almost in mid-June. It was just January 1st, seemed like a couple of weeks ago. Now all of a sudden, we're in it's June. Before you know it, we'll be in July, and next thing you know, we'll be in October. Next thing you know, we'll be at the end of the year. And hopefully something, goes down this year that will change, or shift things into gear and bring it to the next level, because it's time for this bitch to go down. She done did what she had to do. We're just waiting for the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to give the word, to shut the whole shit down, to shut them down. Romans 13 and 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. So it's time for Jake to wake out of sleep, because we're at the time for salvation. And it's time for anyone out there that's been pussyfooting, that's been playing around, that's been hiding their talent in a napkin, to get cracking before the Lord starts cracking you. No napkin brothers, no shucking and jiving, hands in the pocket Israelites. It's time to get busy, as far as doing the work, teaching the word, going hard, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, teaching this word, because once they shut it down, you're not going to be able to go out in the streets. We ain't going to be able to be out there in the streets teaching, in the midst of chaos. What proves that is when 911 happened, they shut that down. You couldn't even go down there. And there were some individuals from other camps that tried to go down there and ended up getting arrested, because they were not wise, in going down there. We kind of, I forget how long it was. I think it was a couple of weeks. We just kind of, was observing what was going on. Then eventually, I believe that's, 2001. And then eventually we started going back out. And I think it was like maybe a week or two or something like that, just looking to see what was going on. Or we may have went somewhere to another location. We didn't speak down here for a while after that. We did drive down in New York, because we had this one particular spot that we used to like to eat at. It had good food, but it was way down, past this area. And when we drove down there, maybe about after a couple of weeks, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, you could still smell the debris and the smoke, and just, it just was eerie, So once they shut this bitch down, and you weren't able to go nowhere near this area. So when they shut it down, this time they're talking about doing, it's a worldwide thing, because they want to bring in the new system into play. And when they do that, it's going to be some shit. You're not going to be able to do nothing, especially if they shut the internet down. And if they don't shut the internet down, you best believe there's going to be some serious restrictions and access to, who can put up information and who can't, and they could do that. Just like when they'll shut down YouTube, or they'll shut down, the Blue Letter Bible, and you can't access it because they're, it's going through maintenance or whatever. They have control at their fingertips. So it says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. So now we're closer and closer to salvation. So now it's time to, turn, your, trim your lamps, keep them burning bright, because, shit is about to go down. How it's going to go down, we don't know exactly what's going to be the linchpin, as they say, to trigger this whole thing. But they're going to do something, especially now that the small hats, the JOOS's, got their claws in everything. And they're shutting down anything that speaks against them, anything they don't agree with, they're shutting it down. So you better get cracking while the cracking is good. Otherwise, once it shuts down and you still got your talent in a napkin, well, guess what? You ain't gonna make it. This is the time to do the work. This is the time to get out there, put it all out there on the line. Just go all out teaching the word, and let the Lord do his thing. Because the Lord said, because we kept the word of his patience, he also will keep us from the hour of temptation. It says the night is far spent, the day is at hand. So the night is far spent. It's no more time to be slumbering and sleeping. It's time to be putting in that work for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Whatever you've learned to this point, commit it to video, and get it out there for the edification and the feeding of the sheep and the lamb. If you love Yahushai, that's what you would do. Because Yahushai told Peter, do you love me, Peter? Peter said, yeah. He said this to them 3 times. Feed my sheep, feed my lambs. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Because the wise virgins will be trimming their lamps, or they have their lamps trimmed already. And they're just going to get brighter and brighter as we get closer to the end. Let's go real quick to Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 18. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more until the perfect day. Right? And that's the thing. It's shining more and more until the perfect day. So the elect men of the nation of Israel, which are the wise virgins, their lamps are trimmed and their lamps are burning brighter and brighter. They're not running out of oil. The oil is running out or running over, in the lamp. And the lamp is burning brighter and brighter as each day moves forward. And that's why you have individuals complaining about, all we talk about is this prophecy and that prophecy. Well, that's what we're supposed to talk about, because it's very imperative for you not to take that device, the micro C-hip, because that is the MOTB that is spoken of in the book of Revelation 13. And if you take it, your destiny will be destruction. So it says, so now going to 1 Thessalonians 5:1, the day of the Lord. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, right? Because you see what's going on. You see what time it is. If your head is screwed on correctly, if the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is working with you, you see what's happening. So in that dream that I just had, which I don't have dreams. I know brothers say they don't. I don't. But that, it wasn't intense, because I remember thinking they're about to shut it down. And then the next step was, pull out the smartphone and start recording and on location. And then that's when I woke up, that's the salvation is only for the elect of the nation of Israel. Salvation only for the chosen ones, or for the ones who are saved by grace through faith. I'm confused. Well, salvation is only for the chosen ones, for the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, I'm going to read these precepts that the elder put up. Then I'm going to come back to this. Isaiah 8:13, sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, right? Because the nation of Israel was split in two. For a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, right? Because he's either going to be, a stronghold for the elect of the nation of Israel, or a stumbling block for the ones that are not part of the elect. It says, and many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken. Yeah, because they're going to come into this thing. They're going to learn, but then they're going to be confused, certain ones of them. And they're going to fall out, because they're not going to have root in themselves. This is what the parable of the sower seed is all about, that Yahweh Shai spoke about in Matthew 13 and other books in the gospel. It says, bind up the testimony and the law among my disciples, right? So the ones that are the Lord's true teachers, they're going to be sealed with the word. They're going to have that light, or they're going to have the oil in their lamps. And when they trim them, the lamps are going to get brighter and brighter and brighter as you see brothers out there teaching. And, we're being persecuted because we're telling you the truth. So it says, 1 Thessalonians 5:1, but of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night, right? It's coming as a thief in the night, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, our lights are on. So we see the day approaching, we see the day coming, so it's not going to take us by surprise, if we're a part of the elect. Let me just get this precept that came to mind and then come back. Okay. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? So if they begin to say peace and safety, because that's what they want to bring in ultimately, is the so-called New World Order. And the New World Order consists of bringing the world to peace under the, under the guise of this new system that they have coming into place. And that's how, I'm not sure if brothers are on TikTok or not. I'm sure there's some brothers that might do videos on it, but I don't know for sure. It says, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief, right? So that's why the day is not going to overtake us as a thief, because the elect are going to have their lights on and burning. Let me see something. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 35. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning, and you yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord. See, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. Why? Because they recognize. But the Yahushua said, my sheep hear my voice, and they what? They follow me. So the elect are going to be prepared. They're going to be ready. It says, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Yeah, see, watching is the key. Prayer and watching. One thing that Yahushua always stressed upon was praying and watching. Praying and watching. Praying and watching. Let me get another one real quick before we go back. And what are we to pray for? Guidance, deliverance, protection, and pretty much for the destruction of this place. And we're supposed to be watching for the prophecies. Once we see the prophecies playing out, we know that we're getting closer and closer. All right. It says, verily I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and he will come forth and serve him. Right. So at the end of this thing, the ones that make it through, Yahushua is going to serve those men and women. He's going to give them, something to eat, so to speak. It's going to be a feast prepared. Because what do you have at a wedding? It is called a marriage supper of the Lamb. You have food. That's like how you go out to battle, and, the warrior's been fighting for like 3 days straight, nothing to eat. And after you finish that battle, what's one of the first things you do? Of course, you drink water, you give praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but you have a big feast. You get your wine and you get your, your food, and then you have a feast in celebration of that victory. And that's what Yahushua is going to do. He has a marriage supper prepared, which is his, marriage, his supper, and it's going to be, given to the ones that get the victory. All right. And if he shall come in the second watch or come in the third watch and find them so, blessed are those servants. Why? Because they're going to be doing the work. And this know that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to be broken through. Right. And the majority of Jakes are not watching because they don't see the prophecy. They're not awoke. So to them it's going to come as a thief, but to the elect it's not going to come as a thief. But be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when you think not. Yeah, you think Esau is unpredictable and the things that they do. Wait till the Lord do his thing. Mark 13:32. But of the day and hour, but of day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father, which proves that the Father and the Son are two separate spirits. Take ye heed, watch and pray. See, watch and pray. Watch and pray. You're going to see that a lot. For you know not when the time is. Right. So we don't know when the time is, but we know that we're getting close. based off of the prophecies. That's what the watching part is. The praying part is to pray to be delivered from the things that are coming upon this earth. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore. See how many times the word watch keeps coming up? Why? Because it's very important to keep our eyes, and our antennas up, so to speak. Watch ye therefore, for you know not when the master of the house cometh, at evening, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning. Lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping, right? And this is metaphoric for those that are not doing the work, shucking and jiving, And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. And that's a very important word. So going back to 1 Thessalonians 5:4, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. See again, watch, let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. So these few verses we've been reading, pretty much you could attribute this to the wise virgins and to the foolish virgins. It says, but let us who are of the day, which are the wise virgins, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, right? Because that's what's going to get us through. We are saved by faith, but who's going to have faith? The elect. We are saved by hope, and who's going to have that hope? The elect. Because the elect are going to be sealed with this, not, the rest of Israel. The rest of Israel is not going to be looking for salvation. They're going to be looking to Esau, when all calamity breaks loose. They're going to be looking to the so-called white men, the Edomites, for protection. They're going to be where FEMA at? They're going to be looking for governmental assistance. They're going to be looking for someone to pull their fat out the fire, and the ones they're going to look to pull their fat out the fire are going to make it worse for them. It says, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation, right? See, the hope, because we are saved by hope. But hope is only given to the elect of the nation of Israel. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, right? So we weren't appointed to wrath. That's why the Lord, allowed us to trim our lamps and to have our lamps burning. But to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also you do. And this is the main key. Edifying one another. Keep warning. And as the brother put up above, Isaiah 62, 7 and 6 and 7, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, right? It says, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. That's right. That's right. Right, I got this one right here that the elder put up. Let me get that over here. Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. And all of these things we see happening right now. The distress of nations, even though they're not reporting on everything that's going on around the world, but certain alternative media, that's still controlled. They're bringing out more stuff than they do here in the American media. It says with perplexity. Why? Because they're going to be perplexed for the things that are happening. They're not going to have answers on how to fix the problem that they're going through. It says the sea and the waves roaring. That's right. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking for those things, after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Right. So you're going to see things happening where the governments of the world are not going to be able to have answers for, and this is going to be in the midst of all this hell, Jacob's trouble and all of that. And then Yahushua is going to pull up on these devils. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That cloud is a big chariot, what the world calls a so-called UFO, UAP, whatever names they want to put on them. The scriptures call them chariots, clouds. So you're going to be pulling up in a cloud, gigantic cloud. When you read the book of Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, the prophet Ezra saw a gigantic, it looked like a gigantic mountain. It was so big and so huge that he said he looked on the earth to see where that mountain was cut out of, but he couldn't find a place where it was cut out of. That's how huge it was, with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And that's what I was thinking in the dream. They're about to shut it down. They're about to shut it down, because once they shut it down, means that they're moving into hyper speed. Moving everything fast. Now we don't know if they're gonna shut the whole system down for a hot minute, or if they're just gonna shut down portions, in certain areas, and then move like that. We don't know how it's gonna be, but we know that the Lord is gonna make things speed up. That's why scripture speaks about hasten the day. It speaks about make the time short. That's in the Apocrypha. Let me see. Make the time short. Let me just type in. Let me just do the time short. See if it comes out that way. Sirach 36:8. Sake. Okay, that's why it didn't come up. It's supposed to be make the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let me go there real quick. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 8. I'll start at 6. Matter of fact, I started 5. And let them know that it's dealing with the nations. The Lord is going to make his presence known, as we have known thee, right, for the great terribleness, of the Most High. That there is no power but only thou, O Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Why? Because the gods of the nations are nothing but idols. Show new signs and make other strange wonders. See? And this is what we're looking for. This is what we're watching for. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm. Thy hand is what? The power of the Most High. And the right arm is what? Yahushai. That they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath, because that's what's coming at the end of the world. Take away the adversary, which is Esau and the nations, and these demonic Israelites. And destroy the enemy. And these demonic Israelites are also a part of the enemies. It says sake, but it's supposed to be make the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works, right? And then when they start speaking, meaning when it's the prophecies that start happening and coming to pass, now we know we're at that point where the end is like right around the corner. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people, right? And this is when the judgment is going to come. That's why it says, give place, judgment, avenge not yourself, something like that. For vengeance belongs to the Lord. Well, the Lord is going to get the vengeance, but then eventually, once the kingdom is set up, we're going to be the hand of the Lord that's going to be kicking these devils and these nations in the ass, smiting sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen. See? That they that say there is none other but we, right? That's what it's set up above. Let them know thee. In other words, bring hell upon them. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, not the nations, and inherit thou them as from the beginning, right? Because when the kingdom is established, the ones that don't make it on this side are going to come back. It doesn't say that they're going to be in hell. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, inherit thou them as from the beginning. And when we read in Romans, the 4th chapter, it tells us that, the mercy, or the mercy of the Lord is to be sure to all the seed. What seed? The promised seed of Abraham, which are the Israelites. O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, because Yasha Allah, Yah is he, Shar is prince, Allah is God, or power. He is a prince of the power, or the sons of God. And upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. Right, going back to Jeshurun. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, the holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles. Because only the Israelites are going to understand. The scriptures say that none of the wicked shall understand. That's why when you have devils like Vocab Malone trying to engage in the scriptures, he gets lost. You know what he's good at? He's good at talking shit, which he barely could do that. He's just getting better at it because he's been hanging around the Israelites. But he's good at them bullshit, how does it call? Theological terms that he speaks from the bullshit that he learned in the college. He spent all that time spending all that money, and he doesn't even know the scriptures. All he knows is just bullshit theological terms. That's why they'll throw these big, gigantic words at you, and the average Jake don't know what that shit means. And that's how they overwhelm Jake with that bullshit, you know? But the scriptures say, the scriptures are simple. The simplicity that is in Yahweh Shai, not the hard speeches. It's all about, simplicity. The truth is very simple. Salvation is very simple. When you read the scriptures, they're very simple. When you go into the Hebrew language, it's very simple. It's not complicated like other languages or like these Edomite, theological terms. Fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, which are the Israelites. And raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Ooh, come on, man. And that's why you have groups like the IUIC that cannot teach in those names, because they are not the prophets. They're false prophets. And you heard, the receipts are there. You heard Deacon Asaph say, that they use the name Jesus Christ to deceive the world. I don't want to hear about your letter J. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. Because the words that we're speaking are the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, not our own words. O Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessings of Aaron over thy people. That goes back to the prayer in Numbers. The Yabaraka Yahweh, Wayashamarka, Ya'ar Yahweh, Panyawa, Alyaka, Wayachanka, Yesha Yahweh, Panyawa, Alyaka, Wayashamlaka, Shalom. You can go to Numbers 6 and 24 on down, and that's the prayer that was to be put upon the nation of Israel. And then it says that the name of the Most High may be upon us. Those names are very important. Don't never let no devil out there tell you that it's not important. And when I mean devil, I'm talking about Israelite devil. Telling you that the names of the Lord are not important. And, don't show me where it says you will be saved in the Lord's name in the Hebrew. Well, that's the original language of the heavens. That's the name that was given to us. That's the language that we getting back. That's the language that we lost. That's the language that we getting back. So for individuals to be fighting so hard against the names, something is up. And the only conclusion that we can come with is that they took a bag to do that. It says, O Lord, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessings of Aaron over the people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art the Lord, or Yahweh, the eternal power. And that goes into something else. All right, so you get the idea. So going back to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 11, wherefore comfort yourselves together, and then edify one another, even as also you do. I read that. Oh, okay, so that goes into something else. All right, so let me just go back to Romans 13 and just close it out there. I wasn't gonna do a lesson, but then when I had that dream, I said, you know what? Let me just jump on it right now. And whatever, if the Spirit hits me again with something else, then I'll come back and feed you whatever Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rachak Kodash feeds me, which is Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Romans 13:11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Right. And that, like I said, the dream that I had briefly was I was driving down the road. It looked like New York City. And all of a sudden, I saw stuff falling. Looks like it was either falling off of the building or falling and hitting, street, traffic lights. And just it seemed like things were falling apart. And then I heard a voice, saying, everybody to stop and get out and to start walking up such and such street, because it'll take you a couple of hours to get there, but you'll get there eventually or something like that. And as I looked down in the distance, maybe about a good 10 blocks down or more, I saw a bunch of fire trucks, but they were going across the opposite, the other way. Instead of lined up the way they are, they were going across. And there was a bunch of them down there. It had to be, from what I could see, maybe like about 20, 30, maybe 40 fire trucks. And then in my mind, I thought, they're about to shut it down. And I get ready to pull out my smartphone and start recording, do it on location, and then I just woke up. And I know brothers say they don't have dreams. I don't have dreams. Sometimes I'd be like wondering, like, damn, what's wrong with me? But hey, that's how it is. The Lord got those that He gives visions to, a lot of visions to, and that's for the comfort of us all. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.